Howdy, this is MWiz, and today I'm going to be talking about accessibility and two popular Chrome extensions, Wave up here in the upper right corner, and Lighthouse, which are used with accessibility to generate reports, which can be useful to web developers for finding out how a computer grades the accessibility scale of the site. I've already talked about accessibility on a previous video because this was something that I had covered in a previous internship. Accessibility is basically making a web page or a document or PowerPoint and making it more friendly to use by people who would be disabled. That might be, they might have poor vision, they might be blind, perhaps they have some sort of brain trauma or some sort of mobility problem. It's all about making a service more accessible to them, hence the name accessibility. And so today I'm going to be looking at the Hack CMS site that I built last time, and I'm going to be running these tools on my own website to see how accessible they are. So I'm going to start with Wave. Wave shows you the very basic errors and alerts that can come from accessibility. Currently, my site doesn't have too many of these, which is great on my end. Wave will explain potential errors in structure, like here this is giving me a weird warning about H2 structure on my introduction page. And Wave will basically just generate a very short report about errors and alerts, but it's really useful because it will specify the problems that it has if you request it to. And there's also Lighthouse. So that was just looking at Wave, the web accessibility evaluation tool, which can be found on the Chrome store. I'll link it in the video description. But now I'm going to move on to Lighthouse, which generates a much more in-depth report. So let's use Lighthouse here. It's going to be doing some funny stuff with my site for a little bit before it has a report made. So bear with me here for a second. Here we go. Here is my Lighthouse report, and ouch, look at that 79 performance score. Anyways, Lighthouse is, again, another web accessibility tool that runs through your website and obviously grades accessibility primarily, but also, performance and the best practices. Once this report's generated, it can basically tell you, what took the longest time to load on the web page, or if something was lacking alternative text in the sake of accessibility, like right here, buttons do not have an accessible name. And here it specifies a paper icon button, which does not have a accessible name, doesn't have any alt text to it by Tibet. And this right here, which is the links, do not have a discernible name. So basically, this is just unclear using very ambiguous blanket terms. Instead of saying what a link literally is, it's like saying, and I've been victim to this before, I've said, like, click this link here, and I'll make the here a hyperlink, but it doesn't really tell you what the video is, right? It's not like having a video title and then linking it to that video title because you know where you're going, if that makes sense. And so this was just a quick look at Lighthouse and Wave. And my website is pretty good, all things considered. I mean, 87 is not perfect for accessibility, but just a little bit off, mostly because I forgot alternative text on some buttons. It's pretty good. Wave and Lighthouse Report are very commonly used in web development, and they're excellent. You just run them on whatever website you want, and it'll give you back very, very useful information, the small things you need to change. And so that's all I have to say about Wave and Lighthouse. They're free. They can be downloaded on the Chrome store. Again, I'll link them in the video description, but otherwise my website's pretty accessible, and I'm happy about that. Thanks. Catch you next time.